Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in today's video, we're talking about some interior design rules that you should never break. Now, I'm a fan of skirting around the rules a little bit here and there, but sticking to these design rules will make sure that your home is stunning, beautiful, and timeless. Now, the first design rule you should never break is mixing shades of white. It can be done, okay? It can be done, but it takes a lot of thought, a lot of effort to make this look good. And there are some things you have to think about. Number one is you can mix white and cream. That's pretty easy. You just want to make sure it's like a warm tone white and a cream, and you're good to go. And white and cream are very different colors in my opinion. Okay, so you can mix them together and have something that looks really sophisticated, really elegant, and that's great. But mixing shades of white is really hard because one of them is inevitably going to look yellow or is going to look gray or blue because white has a lot of undertones in it. And when you pair two of them that have different undertones together, the undertones really stand out. And it's hard to find them that match perfectly. So I would leave mixing different shades of white either to a designer or really work on curating that yourself before you make major commitments when it comes to this. A lot of times on social media, you see all white spaces, and you can absolutely do that in your home. Yes, I will probably drag you later on for it because, as you know, I'm like, we can do better than all white everything. You're seeing those spaces that creators, designers, or design commentators have created. They usually are using the same tone of white, like a parchment white, just do all the same thing. And it works out because it's all the same color and it's easy. But mixing different whites together can easily make your home look older than it is, can make something look like it's yellowed and dated and needs to be repainted even though you just picked the paint color. So be careful when it comes to mixing shades of white in your home. If you think it's gonna be too hard for you to do, just don't. Pick some different colors to work with or use the same shade of white everywhere if you're that person that wants to have an all white space. The next design rule you should never break is decorate for your lifestyle. Decorating for your lifestyle means that you will actually be able to live in your home and live there comfortably. So do not decorate just because something is beautiful or pretty or you want it to look a certain way. It doesn't mean that your lifestyle is conducive to whatever that is. We often see photos on social media or in magazines of these beautiful spaces, and we want our home to be beautiful too, but you may not be able to live in a house that's like that. It might just not be for you. Here's an example. A lot of my clients opt to forego rugs in their home because they have an older dog or a pet or a puppy that maybe has accidents. And that's okay, but like they just don't have the rugs in their space that like, yeah, technically they should have and all of the things because it's just not conducive to their lifestyle because the rug is gonna get ruined. So why bother having it? So they just opt not to. That's okay. I have some clients who instead of going and splurging and buying an expensive sofa with custom upholstery, they're like, you know what? I'm gonna get a slip-covered IKEA sofa because I have kids and they may make it a mess and I want it to be clean all the time. So they just get what's necessary for them, what makes the most sense. That's how you have to decorate your home in order to actually live in it. And so don't be caught up in like, this is the latest thing, this is the newest trend, I have to have this. My home probably wouldn't be decorated the way it is if my dogs were not trained as well as they are, which I'm lucky for, and if I had kids. You know, I don't have that, so my home doesn't have to be decorated in accordance with that. So you have to look at your lifestyle. What's happening there? Who's coming over? Who lives in the house? Are they going to take care of it? That's the big question. Try to decorate around the people who are not going to upkeep the way you want it to be decorated. There's always a compromise there, so maybe it works out to meet with a designer to get some ideas. A great designer you should know about and you should meet with is me. You could book a one-on-one interior design consultation with me where I can look at your space, I can give you creative solutions and answer your design questions regardless of the project you're working on. Whether it's just some light decorating or a renovation, it's always great to get feedback from a designer. So head to the description box down below or go to intro.co/GarrettLeChic to get all of your design questions answered. Another design rule you should never break is all about rug sizes. And I know you've heard it before, but rug sizes really make the difference in your home. It's not just about whether you have a rug or not, it's about the size of the rug, the way it fits in the space, and the way your furniture works on that rug. There's so many reasons why this matters. There is the lifestyle reason, right? So it's like if you have a small rug, it tends to move, it tends to shift. If somebody goes running and the rug slides out from under them, they get injured. Now I have to deal with that, and I have to put the rug back where it belongs. I don't think so. Rug sizes matter, and like the amount of weight on a rug too. If it extends under your furniture, it won't wrinkle or shift or move. So that really makes a difference in terms of the lifestyle, but also just visually, the aesthetic. You can have a room that feels really cluttered and busy, and it just feels a little dated if the rug is undersized, if it's too small. We're adding a lot of, visual clutter that we have to digest visually in order to like understand what's happening in the space. Having a larger rug just makes more sense. Now, if you're going to have a rug, here's the rules you got to keep in mind. Number one, the rug should extend under the furniture at least somewhat. Like the minimum you could do is have the front legs of the sofa and the chairs or whatever sitting on the rug. I prefer for the rug to extend 50% or 75% of the way under that piece of furniture. It's going to balance out the space and give the space a weighty feeling, and that feels very intentional. But you can also extend the rug past all of the furniture pieces underneath it, specifically in a living room. Take it out behind the sofa 3-4 inches, not too much. That's going to give a real luxury look and feel. In a dining room, for example, I want to be able to pull the chair out, sit in the chair, and pull the chair in while it's still on the rug. Same thing goes for an office, for example. If you're floating a desk or something, let's have the rug extend underneath that enough that we can pull the chair out and it won't get caught on the edge of it. But like I said, if you can't get the right size rug, in my opinion, you're probably better off without one altogether. The next design rule you should not break is all about balancing out your trends. You need to balance the trends in the space. And what I mean by that is you need to have a certain amount of trending things and a certain amount of timeless or classic things. Actually, you don't need to have any trending things at all. You can do everything classic or timeless in a certain way. And I don't mean classic and timeless as in it has to be traditional. You can do everything contemporary without delving too deep into trends. But what I mean by trends are things that maybe they'll be around for a while, maybe they won't be. And there has to be a certain amount of timelessness to them in order for them to have that longevity. For example, there was a big trend of the wood look tile floors. I've actually worked with clients who have done it in their homes, and I think it looks great because we did it appropriately and we balanced out that trend. But it was a trend, and a lot of them you saw didn't really look like wood. They looked pretty bad, if I'm being honest. So what I do for clients, if they want that, I say, let's find something that works with a wood tone, that is natural, that looks real, that will balance well in the space, and then let's pair it with something a little more classic. So I'm not gonna do all contemporary, all modern, and wood look ceramic tile floors because it just doesn't usually look good in the long run. It might look good now, it might look good for the next 2-3 years, but after that, it's gonna look a little dated. So we want things to be balanced out. And you can do the same thing when it comes to any trend. You wanna take advantage of a color trend, a lighting trend, a furniture trend, a rug trend, absolutely fine. Let's have something that is timeless associated with that in some way. Speaking of balanced interior design, you need someone in your corner that will give you the right information every single time, and that would be me. So you should join us by hitting that subscribe button, turning that pesky little red button gray, become a part of our LeChic family. All it takes is hitting that little button. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it helps us out, helps share these videos across the internet and save the world from bad design one home at a time. So be sure you join us, and I would greatly appreciate if you also gave this video a like. Another design rule you should never, ever break is quality over quantity. You do not have to speed through decorating your house just to get it done, get it over with. You need to take your time. You need to find the right pieces the first time. That way we're not just like cycling through all of this stuff and getting something and throwing it out and replacing it and buying something. No. Not only is it wasteful, it literally is just so time consuming, and cheap things just look cheap. Let's be real. And that's really the reason I don't do these like trendy little 24-hour makeover videos, because honestly, in a couple of days, it looks like you did it in 24 hours. Okay, once the dust settles, it doesn't look great. You take your time, you create beautiful design, and it has to be intentional. And so for me, with a client, like, yeah, I'm gonna walk them through what I think they should do, but I'm not like, you need to order all of these things right now to get it done and then do a reveal and all of the, no, like, take your time. Create a list, a dream list of things you want. Create a vision board and then start ticking off those boxes one by one as you can. I would rather save up some money to buy the right thing the first time than I would just to get something that's a placeholder that I'm just gonna get rid of down the road. I don't think that's necessary or the right thing to do for you or anyone. Also, we want things that are really good quality. I can tell you that, like, in the grand scheme of like the furniture in my home, I don't think I've bought a piece of furniture for my house in like 2 years, because why would I? I have great things. I don't need to replace any of the things I have because they fit my style. I bought the things I really loved the first time, so I don't need to get new stuff all of the time. And that's what you need to do in your home. The next design rule you should never break is all about the 3-color rule. In your home, 3 colors. Well, in each space, I should say, not your home overall. We don't want it to be like too matchy-matchy, but 3 colors. The 3-color rule is essentially that in a space you want to have 3 colors and use them in 3 different ways. So 3 colors is pretty self-explanatory. Black and white don't count. You can use as much of them as you want, but you want to have 3 colors and then figure out what are the 3 areas we can use that in. Maybe the rug has 2 of the colors in it, and then the walls are one of the colors, and you have throw pillows in one of the colors, and then we have a small pop, an accent color that we use for a floral arrangement or a little piece of artwork that has a little bit of vibrancy to it. What we're doing is creating flow visually. And it's really hard to show you in photographs because you can't always photograph all 4 walls in a space at once. But when you have 3 colors in 3 different ways in 3 different areas in a space, if my back is to that color over there, I'm seeing 2 of them here. If my back is to that color over there, I'm seeing 2 of them over here. And that creates visual flow from when you walk into a space to when you're enjoying it and when you walk out of it. That's how you create good flow in a singular space. And then you can take 1 or 2 of those 3 colors and use them in another room in a different way. And that looks elevated too. I have plenty of white in this room, so it balances out just fine. The sofa is blue, the rug is cream, the accent chairs are navy blue. I have a navy blue accent pillows on this Wedgwood blue colored sofa that are really beautiful. But then in my dining room, the main color of the walls is Wedgwood blue, as where in this room it's all white. The ceiling and trim in that room are white, so we get a good sense of balance. It's almost inverted in that space. I have an accent color of the navy blue, as where in this room it's probably the least used color, in that room it's the second strongest color, but then in that room cream, which is the second most used color in this room, is the one singular, like it's that smaller accent. That's how you just create some simple balance in a space. You can invert colors for a different feel. You want to have at least 2 of them that flow well into another space. That way you get good flow in this room into that room, but also I'm using 3 colors in 3 ways in this room singularly to create beautiful flow visually in this space. Using those 3 colors in 3 different ways is a simple way to keep yourself on track and to make a space that looks and feels beautiful. The next design rule you should never break is splurge on drapery. Splurge on window treatments. Window treatments make a space. That is what is going to make your home feel luxurious and expensive. Honestly, making your house look expensive comes down to like 2 or 3 things. You know, the rug size will make your house look really expensive. The window treatments will make your house look really expensive. The colors you choose, you know, just use like a softer, more muted version of whatever you're thinking. You don't use a neon color, you use neon adjacent, right? So those things are gonna make your house look expensive. Window treatments are some of my favorite though. And it's not just about spending a lot of money on window treatments. Yeah, I don't think you can just like take drapes out of a plastic package you bought from the store and throw them up and they're gonna look good. They're probably not. That's just the reality of it. They're probably not. But you can get store-bought drapes and have them customized in some way. One way is add additional fabric to them, to lengthen them, to make them look more interesting, to pull another color or create a more cohesive color scheme. That's something that you can do, but it might look a little dated later on. It just depends. Right now, it's like, what we used to do is we used to add fabric on the bottom of them, but then that started to feel dated, so now we add it to the top. It's interesting, but like not for everybody, and that's okay. You can also get drapes that are oversized, extra long from a store, and then have them hemmed. And for drapes, I like them to be hung higher than your window frame. They don't have to be taken all the way to the ceiling. It just depends on the space. Like my house, I have 8-foot ceilings. I take them up to the ceiling because I really want to elongate that space, but like if you have 9 or 10-foot ceilings, you could probably take them to the midpoint between the top of the window frame and the ceiling, and that's fine. But I like the drapes to go to the floor. I like them to just barely touch. If they're going to, they could be like a centimeter above the floor. Oh, I would absolutely love that. It keeps them flowing, means they move nicely, they don't catch on the floor or anything. And if you're doing store-bought drapes, measure them out, hang them up, maybe pin them in place, and have them hemmed. It's as simple as that. You can make your home look luxurious and expensive by having that elongated line. Like when you just hang your drapes in accordance with like the length that they are. Like let's say you buy store-bought drapes and you're just like, yeah, we're gonna hang them. I want them to hit the floor perfectly. So you do that. They're probably gonna look a little bit low. You don't have to do fully custom drapes either. You could do semi-custom, which are shoppable once again in my Amazon storefront, linked in the description box down below, and get them that fit your home absolutely perfectly. They're pre-made, so they're just hemmed to length. They're really high quality and beautiful. Be sure you check them out because once again, window treatments are a great way to make your home look more expensive and feel more luxurious. The next design rule you should never break is that you can only use 2 wood tones in a space. Never use more than 2. It's busy. It feels unsophisticated. I don't know how else to put it. It just doesn't look good if you use more than 2 wood tones in a space. And what I mean by 2 wood tones is like the majority wood tones in this space. We want to commit to only using 2. This is the part of the video where Arden comes and says hello. Hi, baby boy. Hello. Hi. What are you up to? You're just being cute? Just being sweet? How's that? Okay, well, you can go back to laying down. All right, that's cute, that's sweet. That's Arden for you, everyone. He doesn't like using more than 2 wood tones either. He thinks it's an egregious mistake. Anyway, using 2 wood tones is going to make your space feel consistent and feel easy to visually digest. Using more than 2 feels cluttered and busy. Here's a space, for example. It's like a cabin vibe. It's cute, it's sweet, whatever. We have 3 wood tones here. The ceiling is one, the wood floors are another, and then there's a different wood tone on the stairs, on the spiral staircase in the back. You know what I mean? It's adding something that we don't need for no reason at all. If this client came to me and said, hey, what should I do about this? I would say leave the ceiling, leave the floors, let's bring in some more furniture pieces that are the wood tone of the ceiling, but I would say paint the stairs on this spiral staircase, paint them black. Like, let's just eliminate that yellow wood tone from the space because the other 2 are fine. They're not perfect together, but they look good. I would say paint that because honestly, it's just not giving what needs to be given. Using 3 wood tones in a space is very difficult to do. And the only time I really see it done successfully, and what I've done in my home is like, if one piece of furniture matches the majority of the other pieces, but it has 2 wood tones on it, you can kind of play around with that as an accent, but that kind of lends itself to being another color in the space instead of a wood tone. If you want beautiful design in your space, you stick to 2 wood tones maximum and you don't go over that. You can use a singular wood tone for everything. It will make a space feel like ultra design, almost have a homogeneous feeling to it where like everything is exactly the same, like it's a perfect match for everything. That can be what you're after, and that's okay if you really like it. It's going to have a very soothing and easy to visually digest feel to it, but you may want a little bit of contrast. Don't use more than 2 wood tones in your space because otherwise it will be very hard to decorate and it probably won't look as good as it could. Now that we talked about some design rules you should never break, you're probably looking around your home being like, gosh, this is kind of ordinary, we could do better. Be sure you check out this video right over here all about how to elevate the average home, and I will see you over there. Oh, and by the way, thanks for watching.